Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton, and along with me is our novice ninja niblet, Bethany McChesney. And today we got a pretty special guest, and we'll get to that in a little while, but there's just a few things we wanted to talk about first. Housekeeping. High Rocks Madison canceled.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about it. I was making plans and gearing up for this to be one of my comeback sort of races. I don't like calling it a comeback, but I was going to go to Madison with some of my clients, so I was pretty pumped. But yeah, they were saying they had a lot of issues with the mask mandates. So, and there was a lot of back and forth about that, and they in the end just decided it didn't make sense. And they were just going to throw their energy then into Chicago, which is the North American Championships, and just 3 weeks later. So they did pull the plug on Madison, which was supposed to be December 18th.
You know what, though? I mean, I don't know. It's hard. You can't really fault them, right? If they're having issues with the rules and the government, and this is, not like an OCR, right? You're inside. It's confined space.
Yeah.
The rules are a little more strict. So, it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I can't imagine if part of the rules were that they were going to make them compete in masks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do a high rock safely with a mask on.
That would be rough. I think someone should try. Not me.
It's kind of like training in those like altitude simulation things.
This is something for Dylan Scott to do.
Yeah.
Dylan Scott, grab yourself an altitude mask and do a high rocks just to make sure it's safe for everybody else.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish they were a little more forward on the communication. They did this before, and it's like just disappears, and it's like, guys, like something, anything, like,
yeah, we even just post a picture and say canceled.
Yeah, like we didn't know, and we pay attention to this crap. So I mean, if you had just signed up, it could definitely go unnoticed. Booking flights and stuff. So
yeah.
I don't blame them for canceling, having to postpone, whatever the case may be, but a little better communication. I think they've been paying attention to Spartan too much. Speaking of Spartan, they've got like two dates announced for Canada now that I've seen, at least.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Blue again, October 22nd, and then Ottawa in May 28th.
Yeah.
So that's
which will probably be the first one, I'm going to assume.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. And I'm, it's going to be a super and a sprint, and then Blue looks like it's going to be a trifecta weekend, but no ultra. At least that it's not on there right now.
Then maybe they'll have an ultra at a different event.
Maybe, like, I could see it being in BC somewhere.
Yeah, maybe if they do Whistler.
Yeah, or Golden or whatever the case may be. It won't be it won't be at Red Deer, that's for sure. No. The Beast was tough enough. I can see Red Deer now because they have the trifecta weekend in Blue. I could see Red Deer going back to just being a super in a sprint.
Yeah.
However, it'd be a great place for a Spartan cross, just saying.
Yeah.
An area there. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So other than that, again, we never really talked. Like we talked with Aaron and Sarah about Blue, but we never really talked about our experience there and what it was like. I really think they did really well.
Yeah, it was so great just to be back also. And I found like Red Deer was great, but Blue, it was so well attended. And it helped that they had all 6 races there that weekend. But yeah, just the environment too, especially on that the sprint afternoon when the age group heats and everything were going. They had a really great festival area. It was a really great weekend.
And I mean, just like and Matt has said this before in his podcast many times, because they're a few steps ahead of us on coming back. Just the welcoming back, right? Like the return of hugs, the seeing people again, people you haven't seen in years, racing, putting it out there, really going hard. I mean, it was great. Like, it was just good to see. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I did the sprint, but I think I was more tired from doing the running around chasing people with a camera the day before.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And a lot of emotion too. I found a lot of people very emotional after that race. And some of it was, I think just the the amount that they had to exert to do some of the races themselves, because there was so much vertical and having not raced in a while. So I think just finishing, but also like I had people that just got emotional, like again, with the whole environment of it when they were chatting and just kind of overwhelmed with how excited they were to just be back and racing. And it was just such a unique experience that way.
And I think for me too, like it was the first time and partly because of this podcast, so many people come up and said hi and talked with me and everything like that. And I was like, oh my God, it was so much fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who, listens and pays attention and came up and said hi. It was really awesome. I was overwhelmed. It was crazy. And it actually really helped me because I was finishing my race right near the end and you're trying to sprint to the finish and people were cheering my name. I didn't know who they were, but I'm like, I actually have to keep trying. I think the guy behind me was not that far behind, only ended up being about 40 seconds. So it really helped out. So thank you. I appreciated it. It was great and a lot of fun, a lot of good friends to see again and a lot of awesome action. Other than that, this weekend, when we posted a bit about it, was the Rogue Invitational. Our good buddy Carolyn Prevost down there. I'm hoping we're going to have her on soon, so I don't want to go into too many details and let her go through it. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, and just overall, though, I was glued, like just glued to the action. It was amazing. Like anything, there was a few flaws, but I will just say that I enjoyed this more than the CrossFit Games.
Oh, really? Why is that?
No, it wasn't gimmicky. Like there was no swim, paddle, kayak kind of crazy shit. And it was what I envisioned CrossFit should be.
Yeah.
And
you saw all the workouts ahead of time also, which
all except the last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I liked the way they did it. I liked the presentation. Yeah. But anyway, we'll talk about more. Right now, we need to get to our guest, the one and only weatherman, Joe Moravsky. Like official introductions, I'm Dave. This is Bethany.
Hello?
Dave and Bethany, hello.
Generally, we do an obstacle course racing or hybrid racing podcast. But you are now an OCR guy. You're an obstacle course racing guy.
That's right. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. I mean, I can believe it, of course, but am I at the 5K, 10K, and so on level? Not quite yet, but maybe one day.
So everybody who listens to this show, they're going to know who you are. But let's get a little backstory because, how do you go from being the weatherman to being a ninja? Like, I mean, what's the process on that one?
It's funny. When I got onto American Ninja Warrior the first time, the joke was that it's just a novelty act. We're going to see this weatherman perform and he's going to fall in the water on, obstacle 2 and that's it. You know what I mean? They didn't know I was a serious athlete. They didn't know I did cross country in high school. They didn't know I played basketball and baseball and I did soccer. Like I did a lot of sports. I did 4 varsity sports, took a break from soccer one year and went to cross country just to try it out. And my 5K times weren't the best. I think I was running like a 19-minute 5K. So definitely can't keep up with those guys that are doing this all the time, but not bad. Respectable for just doing it one season. I think it was like a 6-minute or so mile pace, 6:15. But it's fast for somebody that doesn't run. But it was funny because I think one of my biggest skills really is the fact that I'm adaptable. I think it has to be because of baseball and especially basketball, being a point guard. You have to be coming down the court, calling plays, Cal, Charleston, just calling the plays out. And, you have to be paying attention. Guys are behind you, guys are to the right, left, in front. You're watching for your teammates. You got an eye on the clock to see what's going on. The score is obviously in your head. Do you call a timeout? That type of, that sport really set me up for Ninja Warrior. And then the weatherman thing. Yeah. I mean, I went to college for meteorology to get a degree in broadcast meteorology specifically. And I just, I found the show right around the same time, and I just couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. And I just had to show the world that it doesn't matter if you're a weatherman or not. Like, let's go do this. And it was pretty cool. And it, the weatherman stuck, and here we are. I got that cool light giving me an effect above me. I gotta move over.
So then you never really had any specific obstacle training when you did your first season?
No, actually, back when I started, of course, this light that I chose to go under keeps going on and off. So that'll be fun. We're going to move this way. We're going to walk and talk. Come with me. When I got on the show 9 years ago, there was no ninja gyms. There were no ninja gyms. Wow. Good grammar. There were no ninja gyms. And so it really came down to studying the obstacles that you saw on the show and then building them yourself, building them in your backyard, building them wherever you could, whether it was in a gymnastics gym. And that's what I did. I started in Newtown, Connecticut, the unfortunately infamous Newtown, Connecticut. And right in the heart of Newtown, I had an amazing friend who brought me up in, I guess we could say, gymnastics at 18 years old. And I really started to get into flipping and all that good stuff, things that make you a ninja, right? And I built some obstacles in the gym, and that's kind of where it all took off. But, the very first season, no, there was no ninja gym. There was no real anything. I would go to the weightlifting gym, like in LA Fitness, and just do pull-ups, and then think about like that salmon ladder, that bar that you jump up the rungs, just a free bar that goes up.
Yep.
And I would think about that. So I would do muscle ups, I would do explosive pull-up claps, and you just try to mimic the movement. But that's where the adaptability comes in, right? Because you can only train for so much, right? There's always going to be new obstacles in the show. We know that now, right? So it doesn't matter if you practice it or not. You need to be adaptable. You need to understand the physics. That's why the weatherman's good, right? So, and it's true, to have a physics, science, math background, that's huge. I look at an obstacle, I just tear it apart. I'm like, all right, well, that's going to spin that way. And the, the momentum is going to be carried this way. And obviously we have so there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about. And I always like to think about the obstacles differently than most. Most people think at it in very A to B point of view. And I feel like there's always more than one way. You saw it at Worlds, right? People are doing their own techniques on obstacles, but whatever works for them, right? But then I look at it and say, well, I don't care what works for them. What's the fastest way to do it? What is the absolute least amount of moves, aside from just jumping the obstacle, which I'm sure will never happen again, because I'm pretty sure that the folks over there are going to be lengthening those rigs. But, I'm looking for what is the fastest way to do it, the absolute fastest way. And I walk around. It's really funny. I know I'm getting off tangent a little bit here, but it kind of relates. I'm walking around, and I do this frequently where I'll look around and be like, I wonder if that guy over there or that girl over there could be a ninja. I wonder if they could be fast. I wonder if they could be strong enough. And I don't know why I think about it, because I don't believe that I'm as good as I am. I think that's really what it is. I'm like, that guy's got to be good at it. Like, there's no way I'm one of the fastest ninjas in the world. There's no way, right? Like, I'm not one of the fastest people in the world. So what makes me one of the fastest ninjas in the world? And just saying that out loud is kind of weird, but I've been on so many seasons of the show, and out of all the races I've had, out of all the, like, we had Team Ninja Warrior one year, which was on Esquire Network back in the day, G4 days, and then USA Network picked it up. It was called Ninja versus Ninja. I don't think I ever lost a race. The only time I ever lost a race was like because I slipped off an obstacle. I've had pretty amazing comebacks. I've had course records, not only on those shows, but USA versus the world. Like, I think I hold the fastest USA time still to this day on stage 1 in Vegas and stage 2 in Vegas. But all of that means nothing because I can't beat stage 3. So doesn't matter. But the point is, I like to break down obstacles. And I have to imagine the fact that I'm a weatherman is the difference. I think it is, because nobody else is a weatherman and nobody else can move as fast as me. you know? So it has to be because how I just dissect these obstacles. And that goes for OCR as well. You know, you see these new things get popped up. I don't even know if they're new to me because I've never been on them before, but like some of the guys I'm going against, they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's like that. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to take it apart like I would a ninja obstacle. And I know that's your goal, right? Your goal is to create this 100-meter course that kind of intertwines the OCR racing world and ninja. I know that's the goal, right? And obviously there's a ton of hype. I know there's going to be a lot more ninjas next year. So good luck to all the Spartan racers and all those guys, because they thought they had it, they thought top 3 was going to be a shoe-in, and it was. But next year, I'm going to tell you right now, those ninjas are hungry. They saw how that course can be dissected, just like all courses, though. Like, no disrespect, of course. But there's a lot of talent out there, a lot of talent. You know, you see it from in your world over there, in obstacle course racing. We see it in our world in the ninja community, like these teenagers just like coming out hot. And it's nice in the OCR world. It still looks like the veterans, at least from my point of view, still have an edge. But in the ninja world, it's kind of like we're kind of hitting this shift. But anyway, I can talk. I'm a weatherman. You got to stop me. I can talk and talk and talk. You get the producers in my ear.
You hit on like
we need 30 more.
So many points there that I wanted to hit on. Like, for starters, actually, I've competed in quite a bit of ninja competitions. The first time I actually met you, I believe it was in Hartford at the NNL. Yeah, where I actually got obliterated and went out on the first obstacle, like about 90% of the field.
Yeah, I went down the third, I think. So hey.
Oh yeah, well you were way farther. Yeah. My son was there, and we were going on, and his game plan was like, if I can just get through the first 2, I'll probably win my age division. So,
oh man, it was a bloodbath.
But that's what I mean. But we do the same thing. We dissect and analyze the obstacles, and I do the same, probably for a different reason than you. But when I first started out doing any kind of obstacles, ninja or OCR, I did not have the physical tools. So I had to do, like you said, I had to dissect it in ways that I could figure out how to do it to make up for my limitations. So I had to get the technique down, because at that time, like when my son and I started, we can barely do pull-ups, right? You know, like, so that breakdown becomes so important. And now where it's carried on, where I do have the physical tools, it's carried on to a point where now it's become such an advantage for me in the OCR. I don't even think about the obstacles. I just try to run better. And by the way, our run times are pretty similar.
Oh yeah. Oh geez.
Hey, we're about same. I can't jump like you though, man. That's how the jump. I can't do that. I don't got the. I don't know how.
That's the basketball right there. That's the basketball. But you know, it's funny though. If I ran a 5K right now, we're talking 24 minutes probably. It's bad. It would be bad. I bet you the first mile I'd be at 7. I can hang for a mile. I'm good. 6.5 even. Maybe if I had the right guy next to me, I can do 6 minutes still. But the problem is it's that second, third mile. I'm not in that type of shape right now. And I know what it takes. Now, I did cross country for a year. I know how to break through the barrier. You know, my final race of the year, I PR'd. It was 1 minute. I dropped a whole minute in my final race. That's a lot for a run. Especially in a 3.1 mile course. But you know, looking at the obstacles at Worlds, I went to the top of the mountain and I saw this one obstacle. I didn't even know what it was called, but it had like this pole that would shift, and you were on it.
Lagaff.
Oh, forget it. I went up there with my wife and I had my 2 kids, 2 of the 3 kids. My youngest was at home because he was 1, and I'm not gonna. That would have been a long weekend. But so thank you, mother-in-law. You're the best, Maureen. But either way, you know, I went up there. There was nobody around. I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I'm gonna get on it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I got on it and I got right off. I'm like, nope. If I'm not racing or competing, there is no need for me to get on this obstacle. I just did not like it. I didn't like it. It was sketchy in a good way, in a very good way, because it made you fall back on instinct. It made you fall back on, not fall back on this so much, but it made you push through fear because it was scary. And I think what made it scary was the fact that you look down, there's poles everywhere. There were no mats when I was up there. I don't know if there were mats during the race, but I'll tell you right now.
Not. Sorry, and that's not Lagaff. Sorry, that's Dragon's Back.
Okay.
Triumph for Dragon's Back. Yeah.
They both sound terrible. So the point is, I got down. I was like, wow, these guys, good for them. Good for them. You know, and that's the type of stuff that I love, though. I love those obstacles because not only are they unique, but they make you think. They make you think really hard. Like I stared at it for a good maybe 3 minutes. I had my wife and everybody talking, so I was kind of distracted, but I'm looking at it like, all right, I haven't seen anybody do this. I don't know where to start. I don't know which side it's supposed to go, but I can see the bungees. It looks like it resets itself. So that has to be my starting point. It's probably having me fight the resistance. So I'm trying to break this obstacle down, but I'm like, I get to the point where I'm like, what do I grab? Like that was literally the one issue. I was like, do I lache in the ninja world? That's like jumping. I don't know what it is in OCR, but lache, like fly through the air. Am I supposed to lache through the air to the next obstacle, or is it a static move? Am I supposed to like use that terrible flexibility that I have and span this thing? And some of the OCR guys that are 6'4", good for them, you know, use that wingspan. But I was like, man, I don't know what to do. And that, you know, honestly, to fall back onto, or to go back to ninja, that's part of the reason why stage 3 has always been so tough for me, because I'm one of the guys that likes to sit and analyze before I compete. And to only have 1 or 2 people go on stage 3 on American Ninja Warrior before I run, it's almost not enough. It's not enough for me to sit and analyze. And not to mention the fact that they don't give you a lot of time to prepare at all.
No. Like
stage 2 is over. You're going right to stage 3. Here we go, guys. Going through the rules. There's a course demo of that guy. He's going now. Next guy. Course is done. Go back to the tent. We're going to bring you over in 10 minutes. You're like, can I stare at the course? And just like, look at it. Like, nope. And you're like, you got to be kidding me. And so that's my biggest problem. And it's really frustrating. They don't let you walk along the side of the course. It's literally like you need to study stage 3 right when you get there, when nobody's telling you to get away, because there's no time when you get to stage 3. I don't know if I should be sharing that information, because now any of these rookies coming up in the future, they're gonna know the secret. I'm always okay with passing knowledge down, but either way, that's been the hardest part for me. And that's why, you know, the OCR obstacles, like you said, Dragon's Back, right?
Yeah, Dragon's Back or Gap. I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Either, they both, like I said, they both sound pretty gnarly. You know, that's why I love those types of obstacles, even though they're sketchy, scary. You know, they push you to your limits and push you to not give up. And that's why I love ninja. That's why I'm starting to love OCR, you know, because it's not just about running now. It's about being efficient on obstacles, remembering to breathe, which a lot of runners do know how to do. But, you know, when you're racing somebody, especially on a 100-meter course, you can forget to breathe. You really can. But either way.
I'm going to do something to make you actually feel kind of bad right now.
Do it.
Yeah. So I told you our run times were similar, right?
You crushed me. Beth,
what's your 5K?
Oh, 17:30. Well, 17:27.
You got to be kidding me. Well, you know what? I'm no stranger to you know, losing to people. I had this. Let's see, who was it? I can't believe I'm forgetting. A high school friend of mine. Who the heck was it? Wow. Am I really that old now? I graduated in 07. I can't remember a friend of mine's name. I haven't talked to her in years. Woo! It's gonna bother me. Anyway, she beat me. She was like a state champion 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row. Freshman year to senior year. 4 years in a row, crushing me. She was running 17. So I know that's a serious time. That's a serious time. Good for you. That's no joke. What's your 1 mile pace? I'm curious. Your best.
So we raced the 1500, and I've done a 4:30 1500. So that's probably a 4:50 mile.
You still got me on that too. My best mile ever was in a cross country race, which I will regret forever. It was 5:19, but I don't know how people do it. I really don't. That's so incredible to be able to run that fast and to be able to breathe through everything that you're doing. But hey, that's why I'm a ninja and not a runner. So that's just how it is.
So I have a question for you then. So you had said how you see people and you're like, would they be a good ninja? So especially now with the evolution of the sport, are you finding then that there's a more specific body type even? Like we've seen a lot of the women are coming in and they're very, very muscular, and men are kind of getting a little bit long and lanky. Are you finding this then with the new crop that's coming in?
Oh, that's a good question. It's so hard to tell, because what does it mean to be a good ninja, right? That's really the question we have to answer. Does it mean that you're really good at climbing? Does it mean you're really fast? Does it mean you're really smart? Does it mean you have really good endurance or power? And I think obviously to be a good ninja, you need all of it. And it's really hard to tell, because you can have every single piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
And in OCR, every single piece of the puzzle, from what I see on the outside, correct me if I'm wrong, from the outside looking in, OCR is all those things. But in ninja, the one biggest difference is if you're not confident, you are done before you start. In OCR, I feel like it's like 80% running, right? You don't need to have your mind, like, sure, you need to be able to take yourself away, push yourself. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing like having millions of people watching you on TV and having one shot in 1 year to be perfect. And that type of pressure, that type of being able to take yourself away from the moment almost and say, you're just at another day at the gym. A lot of people can't do that. You might be able to have every other piece of the puzzle. You might be able to see, hey, that guy's got it all, but you can't see what's going on up here. And it's funny. It's actually really funny, because in my social life, I'm a mess. Like, nobody really knows this. I have anxiety. It's funny. I can laugh about it because it's ironic. I have anxiety. I have panic disorder. It's true. Like, I have no problem spreading awareness to how serious mental health issues are. But when it comes to ninja, you would think it would be the same thing. Like, okay, I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh. It's totally different. And I don't know why. I think it's because I have found what makes me so happy that no matter how I do, even though obviously being number one is the goal, no matter how I do, I'm enjoying it so much. And that's another part of the puzzle too. You can't just do it for the wrong reasons. So there's so many things that, make a ninja who they are, make a ninja the best they can be. And, the same goes for OCR. You got to have it all plus some. And it's hard to say. Look around right now in this parking lot. I saw a few people, and I'm like, I wonder if they're ninjas. So, but it's fun. Anybody can be. That's the thing. Anybody can be a ninja. You guys can be ninjas. I can be ninja. That doesn't matter. I just had this. You ready for this? I had a 64. Was she 64 or 74? Well, she was old. She was an older lady. She had a pacemaker. She was just in the gym, and it was her dream to do ninja obstacles. So she came down to my gym in Stamford, Connecticut, Stamford Ninja Academy, and she got on the obstacles. And it was insane, because you just saw her, and her family was there too. She had her son, her husband was there, 2 daughters, and another son. And it was just like the joy that ninja brought to her. She didn't have to be the next American Ninja Warrior champion, but it was just the fact that she got to do what she sees on TV. She got to be a ninja for a day. And I thought that was so amazing. And that's what's so amazing about ninja in general. You have people from all walks of life, from doctors to meteorologists, right? To you name it. And you never really know who's going to be a ninja. All of a sudden, boom, they're doing flips, or they're doing salmon ladder, or they're doing a warped wall. And you're like, what? I had no idea you could do that. So that's what's so cool about it. And I just love it.
I actually competed against a guy in a master's division in Rochester, and I believe he was 73. And yeah, he did really well. He did great. I mean, he ended up coming middle of the season. I was just like, awesome, man. He was great. You talk about a lot of the youth coming in. It's obviously overwhelming, the amount of young guys and young girls coming in that are just, they didn't start somewhere else. They've only done ninja. They didn't come from gymnastics. They didn't come from rock climbing. They came from ninja gyms. Do you guys have a chance anymore? Or are you guys all just done?
That's great. It's, I think these kids, I've been saying it all along, and a lot of people say strength to weight ratio is the key. Some people say they're young, so they have all the free time in the world. I say that it's kind of a mix. They get to live with their parents. Their parents are supporting them 100%. their parents might even own a gym or have so much money that they can build their own humongous course in their backyard, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, these are the advantages that we as adults cannot have. I have a job. I have a full-time job. I have 3 kids. It's not an excuse, but it's the reality that it's going to be real hard to keep up with them. And it's a choice that every one of us veterans has had to make up to this point. I know a lot of people that have thrown in the towel. A lot of people are on the fence. I was on the fence. When I saw Caden get to the rope, of the people listening, watching, don't know Caden. Caden is a rookie, or was a rookie this past season, and he literally beat everything, got to the final stage, and he timed out on the rope for $1 million. He timed out. And we're not going to get into details why, but the point is, I remember watching right before he ran. I was like, if he climbs this right now, 85 feet or 80 feet, 30 seconds, I might quit because I've been trying to do this for 9 years, and he just comes out and does it. It would have crushed me, and it still did crush me. But it crushed me in a way that I needed to be crushed. Some people fold when it gets tough, and I'm not going to say I don't. There are times when I fold when it's time to fold, right? But in this case, I've put way too much blood, sweat, and tears into this to just say, no, I'm done. Like, there's no way. And I let Caden and Vance, these 2 rookies that got to stage 3, and obviously Caden got to 4. I let them crush me so I can be rebuilt. And I feel like that's kind of what happens every year with me. And until my body says no, I can't just give up. I've been too close. I've beat everybody in the country. I've beat everybody in the country twice. I've been feet away from getting to the final stage. It's just different for me. It's different for me. For the people that always get to stage 1 maybe and fail stage 1 in Vegas, or get stage 2 but haven't ever cleared stage 2. I get it. They back out because maybe they just don't have it in their heart to keep going. And I understand. Like, I've said it. I've been this close, and I still almost said, you know what? Yeah, let's just give it to the next generation. But I'm not ready to pass the torch. I'm not ready. Oh man, I wish I had my lightsaber here, because I would pop the lightsaber open right now and say, "Return of the Vets." Not Return of the Jedi. Return of the Vets. Because we are going to come back. We're going to come back. Well, you know what it takes. You know what? I can't speak for everybody, but I'm going to come back. And I know what it takes. And I don't care how strong they are. I've been doing this 9 years. It'll be 10 years this coming season. They can have all the strength, speed, endurance they want. Doesn't matter. I probably know what more obstacles feel like than anybody on the show, which is kind of sad, because that means I've been doing this a long time. But I think there were a few that may have just retired. Travis Rosen, actually, I have to talk about this because I have to give him the respect that he deserved. I said earlier that I don't think I've ever lost a race other than me failing. There is one. And to go to your point, he was 43 years old, and I was like 29 when he beat me. Like, talk about painful. I lost to a guy in his 40s, and I was in my 20s. Of all people, I got to lose to Travis Rosen, but we call him the ageless wonder, so it's okay. So I had to give him the respect that he deserves. He's a good friend of mine. I don't know why. I know why I forgot about that, because that still stings a little bit. But either way, the new generation, like I said, in Ninja, they're amazing. I can't speak for OCR though. I mean, you guys tell me. Like, is there a new generation starting to form?
Well, I still find that, like you were saying, I think the vets still do dominate overall on podiums. And it could just be also, it's an endurance sport. So endurance is, you build it still over time.
Sure.
So, but I think the short court stuff where we're focusing on like 3Ks and all that, that's seeming to go a little bit more to the younger side. And I think too, as the obstacles get harder and a little bit more intense, I think that might go in the favor of some of the younger people. But yeah, I would still say the veterans still would dominate in the world of OCR.
And that's not surprising. I think I saw a study recently, because I remember I was like, man, am I out of my prime? So I ended up looking like online. I'm like, Google, what is the age where you're out of your prime? And it was like 30. I was like, what? That can't be real. 32. I'm going to be 33 in March. There's no way. People always told me 34, 35, 36. There's no way. I'm like, I'm not going to believe that. And then I remember reading something that said, well, running, your peak is like later on. Like some people actually PR late 30s. Is that true? Like you would know that a lot better than I would, but.
Yeah. So when we're talking like marathoning, which is longer stuff and it's just pure aerobic endurance, I would say 30s. Yeah. Still, typically it's early 30s, but yeah, you'll run well into your later 30s for sure, because your aerobic capacity is always increasing. Your speed and power max out at a certain age, and that's kind of why they say 30. But your endurance can always increase.
Okay. I like promising.
The other thing about OCR where it favors some of the older people is there's more of a power, just a straight, not like power to strength ratio, but just a straight power, like drag this, carry this, lift this. And in scenarios like that, some of the youth isn't quite there yet. They haven't developed the old man strength yet. So when you get that, I was actually thinking about that when I was seeing some of these young guys get through stage 2, and I'm like, what if they had those 150-pound doors they used to have to lift up at the end of stage 2? Could these guys even do that? Because some of them are pretty lean.
I know. In some of the obstacles, I swear, some of the obstacles the producers put in there this year to weed out the teens. Like you could just tell, you're like, oh, nobody's going to make that jump except somebody that's got some good leg power, or nobody's going to get that wingspan around that obstacle unless they have freakishly long arms or they're an adult. I knew it right away. And stage 2 was the giveaway. You saw that big like barrel thing you had to jump to. You had to hug it. I'm trying to like reenact it here. And it was I was not surprised seeing a lot of the shorter competitors, the younger competitors go out at that point. But that was just the show, I suppose, trying to even things out, because it's an obstacle course kind of designed for people that have good strength to weight ratio. It's not a lot about lifting things. It's more about lifting yourself. Like you said, no CR. There's no, you're not dragging sandbags or flipping tires or whatever it might be. Although there have been some competitions that we've been to, have been to, where you do have those types of obstacles. Like you have to flip this tire 3 times, and it's like a huge tractor tire. And so now we have to do, how do you lift it? How do you use your body in the right positioning so you don't blow your back out? Like there's a lot of things that the experienced adults would do, and a lot of the teens might have no idea, and they might not have the strength. So maybe we'll see more of that on Ninja. I don't know. But I know that's your equalizer, for you guys over there.
Yeah, so we'll just keep more of that, keep the young kids out of the way.
Let's do it.
So how do you separate, and I do this in my head, I very much separate Ninja the sport versus Ninja the show, right? And I mean, how do you feel? One of the things that's been a bit of a pet peeve of mine, and if we talk about like the major competing sanctioning body, the NNL, I guess would be, you got the NNL, the UNNA.
Yeah.
Always a thing that I had, and it really showed up in that one world championship where you go down there, all that run, all that distance, all that effort, all that money for a one and done.
Yeah.
You think that maybe they need to revamp that system in order to keep the interest in, for, especially, I have a son that does it as well, and as a paying parent, do you think maybe they need to revamp and maybe take a look at the rules and go on a point system there?
I like the idea. The problem is, Chris Wilczewski, a really good friend of mine, he started the NNL 6 years ago now, and it's his baby, and it's his first baby. I know he's got a baby now, but that's his first baby. And it's really hard, I've noticed, to change things that mean so much to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that from what I see, like if I've offered suggestions, he's like, yeah, okay, I can see that, but I think we're gonna keep it this way. And you're like, oh, all right, well, that's fine. Like that's the NNL. That's how you want it. That's totally fine. And I'm all for it. But that's why you're gonna have other leagues pop up. I can't say too much, but I already know that in 2022, hush, hush, there is a major tour that's going to be going on all over the country with huge prizes. And we'll leave it at that. It's going to be, you get to sign up, I believe. The details are going to be, sorted out, obviously, but you sign up for as many tries as you want, or there might be a max, like a 5 tries, but you have to qualify for. It's almost like the 100-meter course at the OCR Worlds, where you pay, you get a certain amount of tries to qualify. If you make it to the finals, you compete for the head-to-head showdown. It's literally the same type of format. That's the sport of ninja. No offense to the NNL, but that's the one that's the most entertaining. That's the one that's going to draw the most viewers. That's the one that's going to draw the sponsorships, not the NNL's format. The NNL's format is kind of similar to the show, and that's really cool. It's really cool. Like I've been doing it my whole life, the NNL. Obviously, I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. It gives the viewer the opportunity to feel like you're on the show. It's the same kind of idea. It's the same concept. Obviously, minus a few differences, but it's the same concept, and that's great. I love that. I love it so much. But I don't think that is going to be where the big endorsement deals are going to come from. I mean, maybe down the road, but I don't think it's going to be because of the NNL or the UNAA or UNX, if that's even going on anymore. It's going to come from these head-to-head races. So we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say much more.
Just if you could, when they set this one up and they do televise it, and I love the head-to-head stuff too as well. That's super exciting. Could you tell them a few less sob stories? Like, I know there's a lot going on there, but I just want to see some bloody action.
I've tried. Listen, it's reality TV. They want to feel that connection. I know. Trust me, I know. At this point, like when I compete, they don't even use a lot of my stuff anymore. They just say, coming up next is the one and only weatherman. And they show me like warming up, and they have like this profile, like this box pop up, and it'll say stats. They don't even show my story anymore. Like, what is there to show? They've talked about everything at this point, I suppose, but so they can do it. But it's because I've been on the show 9 years that connection has been made for a lot of viewers. Not everybody, because obviously we're always getting new viewers. But they need that connection, because if there's no connection, there's no show. And they make a lot of money. So they're not going to try to change too much, Yeah. But like I said, if the show doesn't change, the NNL doesn't change, other things pop up. And that's not bad. It's not bad at all. It gives us ninjas the opportunity to go do more things. I almost fell over. Practicing my ninja skills, trying to
there you go.
Squat, always practicing. Oh boy. But it gives us the opportunity to keep playing. And that's always the best part, right? Just get to be on obstacles and have a good time. So
Beth?
Yeah, so I'm really curious then, Joe, how exactly do you train for ninja?
Well, I just started. Sorry, it's really cold out, and I don't know why I'm the weatherman, right? I should be prepared for the elements. One of my biggest downfalls, you catch me in like the middle of a hurricane, I'm like, folks, I'm outside right now, and I don't have a rain jacket on, but we're good. Let's go down to the beach here. We're going to see, look at those waves. I'm not prepared. This is who I am. It's okay. It's okay. This is who I am. I've accepted this at this point. But my training regimen has shifted this year, and it just started last week, actually technically this week, but the goal is going to be Ninja Gym Monday through Thursday, where I'm training at night. During the day, probably on Friday, and then another day during the week. I haven't figured out exactly when. It's probably going to be Monday. So I think Monday and Friday, I'm going to be doing actual, I'm going to go to a weightlifting gym. I'm going to LA Fitness. LA Fitness and I just partnered up, actually. And so they're going to let me train for free. They're an amazing brand, and I'm super excited to be with them for the next year. They're going to let me train for free. They're trying to get the weatherman a dub on Ninja Warrior. So I got their support. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I cannot wait to hit the basketball courts again. I can't wait, because I love that. Love that. It gets my, the side to side motion, that lateral motion, the jumping. You think I can jump now? Man, I jumped in high school even better. I can't wait back to that because that is the type of cardio I like. I love running. I do. And especially in the winter, I love being on a treadmill because something with my ears and like the temperature difference, I get like awful headaches from running in the cold. It's very strange. I need to wear like something over my ears. Maybe you can tell me why. I don't know. Maybe it's something in the running community that happens. But either way, I haven't looked into it too much. I just know running in the cold equals bad. Don't do it. And I never did it unless I had to. But that's going to be the goal, is to switch it up. And I'm going to be doing a lot of weighted calisthenics now. So I'm going to do, my pull-ups, not only in a pull-up bar with weights hanging off of me, but, rope pull-ups. I want to do like the fly. I want to do so many different types of workouts that I really don't have the opportunity to do at a ninja gym. So that's the change. I'm going to get back on the treadmill because I've been just doing like ninja style endurance running, like 10 obstacles, keep moving, keep breathing while you're moving. That's my cardio. And it's not enough. I don't think it's enough. I think to keep up with these kids and, the early 20s guys and girls, I just have to change some things. And my wife, she wants to smack me when I say that because she's like, I've been telling you this for years and now you want to do it? I'm like, well, it was your idea. Sorry. So that's what I'm going to do. It's my 10th season on the show. I got to get it done. 1 decade. It's a long time. So now's the time. I got to switch it up.
I think that's a great way to end, Joe. And definitely we will be rooting for you. I watch the show all the time. We have actually inspired a phrase in our house anytime anyone does something smooth, it's, oh, you Moravsky that. So
that's awesome.
So really, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Like I said, super huge fans. Thank you very much.
Yeah, really, really great talk. Sorry I pulled the weatherman and just kept the mouth moving, but that's just part of the gig. I just know how to talk. So I apologize. But either way, it was great. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to see you at the next event.
Yeah, well, I'll be down there. It's been a little hard for us to get to the States the last year or so, but we'll be back down. My son's actually just started coaching in a ninja gym now. So
yes.
Yeah, it's we have one of those garages like you talk about. Like
yep.
You talked about, just full of obstacles. It's crazy.
I literally just broke out an obstacle that was in my obstacle room at the gym that I made my very first season. And I hung it up. I was like, wow, look at that. Nostalgic. Wow. And I got on it. It was that wheel. Looks like a bicycle spoke.
Yeah.
They're not attached with a bar going across it. They're just open spoke. And it would pivot, and you had to like hang from each spoke and turn it down a track.
Vertical grip. Yeah.
But
the first one I built was a swinging salmon ladder.
And that's the first one you built?
Yeah. And
talk about starting at level 8. My
no,
gosh.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a great thing.
Crazy.
Nobody wanted to do it. I ended up taking it down because everybody's like, I'm not doing that. I
don't think I would do it either.
I wanted to submit it to the show, but they won't let us because we're Canadian.
All
these rules.
Idea with your credit, and I'll just no.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? I'll send it to Kevin Carbone, and he can get credit for it because they put everything he makes on there.
Yeah, he's the maker ninja. He'll take care of you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Joe. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Get Worlds next year. I'll be down there. I got to defend the title.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right. See you in person.
Yeah.